Good day, my name is Lydia Mutinana and you're watching Open Studio right here on Cape Town TV. Today in studio I have Jamie Jupiter, who's been in the music industry for over 20 years now, and he is mentoring upcoming musicians and young musicians who wants to be in the music industry, I would say. Welcome to the show.
Hi.
So please tell us about your early life.
Yes.
You growing up in music, how you prepared, and yeah.
Yes. Well, I was lucky enough to grow up in surrounded by music. My father worked for KPAB, the Cape Performing Arts Board, so I got to see a lot of shows.
Yeah.
And the musicals really, that's what really warmed my soul. And then I had a friend, Joe van der Linden, who we used to jam together.
Okay.
And we both had older siblings, so we kind of got into their record collections at a very, very early age. So when we were about 7 or 8,
Yeah, I was about to ask how old you were.
we were kind of jamming to Bob Marley tunes on pots and pans. And
Yes.
and yeah, music just kind of started flowing. And then my mother actually was in the first intake of music therapy course, a music therapy course that was running at UCT. And at about the age of 13, she invited me to some African music workshops, and that's where I learned some traditional African instruments. And yeah, it was different to me because I'd learned piano, but now I was learning musical instruments from a perspective, not from a classical point of view, but from a more organic kind of approach.
Yeah.
And that's always stuck with me. Although I played euphonium in the school orchestra through high school. Yeah, when I left school, I bought my first harmonica.
Okay.
And I was writing poetry, and that brought me to the guitar because I wanted a vehicle to put my words to. And I was always a percussionist, so all these things have kind of now, as I am today, I'm a multi-instrumentalist, and I've brought all these things together. And yeah, music. I can't go for a day without music.
Yeah, so that's how it all started. Now, over the years, you have your own fair share of success, and you have worked with multiple groups. You have been involved in a lot of projects. So please tell us about the groups that you have worked with.
Okay. Yeah, I think the most significant group that I worked with was a band called the Honeymoon Suites, and that was in the late 90s.
Yeah.
We were about an 7 to 8 piece band, so it was a big band, and it was there that I learnt the importance of teamwork in playing music, and in fact in life.
Yeah.
You know, you have to kind of put your ego away and kind of play your part, and not just musically. So that band was we were self-styled, self-managed. You know, we did everything ourselves, and that was actually in a time when people were being signed up with labels and that kind of thing. But we were independent at that stage. And we were very flamboyant in that every single gig or show that we did, we dressed up in crazy costumes. And I think the thing that band taught me was also not to take things too seriously.
Okay.
Because at the time there was a lot of musical bands that were taking themselves very seriously, and we kind of took the mickey out of everything, and it proved successful because people want to have fun.
Yeah,
and,
it was just
and that's
easy.
what we were about. And musically, as I was saying, working as a team, I was playing guitar. I was swapping between guitar and bass guitar, and so I learned bass guitar. Well, that's very similar to guitar, but it is coming from a completely different angle.
Yeah.
So I learned a lot, and I learned a lot from our singer. I wasn't singing, I wasn't doing fronting vocals at the time, but I learned a lot about singing. I learned a lot about songwriting from our other bass player, guitar player. And I learned how to play music within a frequency. When you're playing with a big band, regarding sound, you have to, every instrument has takes up its own frequency, and you have to stay there, and also you have to learn to play simpler when you're playing in a big band. So I learned a lot about orchestration and
while being in the band.
While being in the band.
Let's talk about is it your first album, Brighter Life?
A Brighter Life.
Let's talk about it. Why did you decide, okay, I'm going to produce now this music, and what was the thought behind it?
Right.
Yeah.
When I was with the Honeymoon Suites, it was quite a group effort, and the songs were very tongue in cheek and very lots of fun. So when I went solo, and A Brighter Life was a lot more personal.
Yeah.
But a positive. The thought behind that album was it was released in 2004.
Yes.
And it was about bringing people together. And I was lucky enough to work with an incredible vocal group called Intilo. And it was very much bringing people together, but also giving a positive message in South Africa at the time. I think we'd gone through this sort of Rainbow Nation kind of honeymoon, and we were I was still trying to keep things positive and keep things uplifting. So it was very much an uplifting album, very positive. People told me it was uplifting.
Yes. We're going to take a quick break right now, but we're going to talk about the instruments. We're going to talk about your album, because before we spoke, that's so significant to you, and that is so important to you. So viewers at home, do not go anywhere. We will be back just after these. Welcome back. My name is Lydia Mutinana, and you're still watching Open Studio right here on Cape Town TV. I am still with my guest, Jamie Jupiter, and we're still having this conversation about your music career. And right now, I want to talk about these instruments that I see in front of me. Tell me what made you want to learn these instruments?
Right. Yeah. As I said earlier, I was exposed to African Music Workshop that was happening at UCT. So in a way that I was mentored by people such as Dizu Plaikis and such at UCT at the time. And I loved the simplicity of them, and actually achieving a tone. Sometimes one picks up one plays an instrument that's got lots of notes, like a piano or something, but you don't really concentrate on one sound. And I really enjoyed getting a good tone out of an instrument, because it's limited. It pushes you further, and you push it beyond. Yes. You make it part of yourself.
Yeah, because earlier on, I heard you playing one of them. Well, you were playing two of them, and I was like, what? That sound. Can you please tell us the names of these instruments?
Yes. Well, this is a iqilongo.
Okay.
And it's really just a piece of pipe, but originally would have been made from a river reed.
Okay.
And it's a fluting instrument.
And the sound that comes out from it?
It sounds like this.
ever thought that sound would come out from that? I mean, what? Are you serious? And the next one?
Yes, something called isitolo tolo, which is actually it's a jaw harp.
So these are all African instruments, because like I'm hearing the names.
Yeah, well, this is actually not. This is sort of Eastern European actually, but it's has the same principle as a bow,
Okay.
as a uhadi bow or a mouth bow.
So you mentioned
Ukhube.
that is European.
It's European, but it's been adopted
Okay.
by especially Zulus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And where does this one come from?
This one is Xhosa,
Okay.
and Eastern Cape.
That's where you find
That's the roots of it that I know. Although you
Okay.
do often in Southern Africa find the same instrument in different places.
Okay. We're still speaking about this
So
one.
yeah, so this one is.
Who would have thought? Who would have thought?
Yeah.
Wow.
So isitolo tolo.
Is it okay?
Yeah. And there's different versions of it. You can get handmade versions
Okay.
made from reeds.
Yeah.
But that's the robust
Yeah.
metal version.
This is the interesting one that you played
yeah,
earlier
this-
before the show.
This is mbira. It's from Zimbabwe.
Okay.
But a lot of these African instruments have their roots in Khoisan, the Khoisan lineage, and they've been developed. And obviously, with the Iron Age, these are metal
Okay.
tongues. So I quite like mixing
To
things
combine,
up a bit.
yeah.
So I could combine
can
it
do
with
that.
with a harmonica, which is hands-free, which allows me to play the mbira. This is not very loud. It usually has a gourd,
Okay.
but that amplifies it. But we'll see how it goes.
Wow. That's so beautiful. I mean, like, it's insane. What can sound do to you? Like right now, I have goosebumps. Like that's like amazing. That's so beautiful.
Thank you so much.
That is really, 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 really so beautiful.
So what I did there is actually mixed Shona, Zimbabwean sound with
Yeah.
with a blues harmonica.
Yes.
So a lot of my music, I would say it's world music, because I mix things up a bit.
Yeah. Those are really interesting pieces. I love them. They make like extraordinary sounds that I would not even have thought of. Is there another one, or those are the ones?
Well, there's the djembe drum, which, the djembe found its way down south here in Cape Town,
Okay.
but it's originally from West Africa.
Okay.
So it's a very versatile drum in that it has a bass note in the middle and a tone note
Okay.
on the edge. So
Okay. Interesting.
very loud.
Interesting. Very interesting. They're just so beautiful, and these instruments are really, really beautiful, and like knowing where they're from and all of that. But what I really want to talk about is your album that you
Yes.
have.
Yeah.
Have you just released it? Still yet to be released?
I've released it. I released the physical version on the 19th of June, and about a month later, 19th of July, I've released it online.
Okay.
And it's called First Team Daydream.
Why First Team Daydream?
When I was at school, I was a bit of a daydreamer.
Okay.
I'd be sitting in class and I'd I'd be looking out the window and I'd hear, Jamie, Jamie. And then I'd look back and the whole class would be laughing at me because I was a bit of a dreamer. So it kind of plays on dreams. And First Team Daydream it's something I thought about after I left school. I thought, well, you know, if there was a first team for daydreaming, I would be in it.
Yeah.
And I also figured out that I wasn't the only daydreamer. And I thought about the concept of daydreaming and how important it is actually especially to take those dreams and turn them into reality.
Yeah.
So there's actually a line in the title song which says, you know, we've got to collaborate. We've got to put our heads together and create a dream together.
Jamie, let's take a quick break, and we'll be back with more of him and more of what he does just after these. Welcome back. You're still watching Open Studio right here on Cape Town TV, and I'm still with my guest, Jamie Jupiter. Before the ad break, we spoke about your album, but I want to know, how was it like producing the album, the whole process behind it?
Right. Yes. Yeah, with recording an album, if you can find out how you're going to do it from the beginning, then it's pretty plain sailing.
Yeah.
So I took a little bit of time making some mistakes and trying to find out how I was going to record it. It didn't take too long, but I recorded with Robin Auld, and what we decided is I would sing and play the guitar with a click track, straight live like that, and then we'd overdub the other instruments around that.
Yeah.
So in actual fact, the album came out quite organic because I wasn't overdubbing. I wasn't putting down drums and then bass and then guitar and then the vocals at the end. It kind of, because the guitar and the vocals were at the same time, it's got a very live feel, which is to me is quite important because that's how I sound live.
I didn't even ask you what genre of music you produce or you sing.
Right. Yes. Well, this album has got. It's got reggae, it's got slightly Afro vibes, it's got a bossa nova, so that's a Latino kind of vibe. It's got a country song.
Okay.
It's got a blues. So it's multi-genre. What my producer Robin Auld he likes to call it roots pop, because the songs are quite poppy, but they come from sort of the roots of pop music.
And what kind of message are you trying to convey with your music? Or if I'm listening to your songs, what is it that you would like me to feel, or where do you want it to take me?
Right. Well, it's there's humor in quite a lot of it. So there's something we can all relate to. But there's also sadness and darkness and longing as well. But I like to be, I don't like to be too self-involved. So when I write a song, I try and write something that people can relate to. You know, a basic human condition, or something like that. Yeah.
Being a mentor for young musicians, how important do you think it is for established musicians to mentor young musicians?
Yeah, I think it's very important. We learn from our mistakes, so that's how we can give young musicians a little bit of a shortcut in saying, you know, I did this wrong. You don't want to go there.
Yeah.
So, in that way, and encouragement, just encouraging the strength, working on a young person's strengths, and also pointing out the where things that they need to work on.
Yeah. Later on the show, you're going to perform
Right.
But before I close off, I want to know, people out there want to know how they can find you, how they can connect with you.
Right. Yeah, you can check on my website, jamiejupiter.com, and Instagram at jamjupe. That's my Instagram handle. And you can find my music, my new album, First Team Daydream, on online platforms. You know, all the major ones.
Yes.
Yeah, the Spotify and the iMusic and all that. Yeah, if you just search for it there.
Well,
Right.
thank you, Jamie. This has been a pleasure. It has been a pleasure speaking to you.
Thanks, Lydia.
And it has been a pleasure to be with you as well. But that is it for our show. He's going to be performing later on. That's it from me, Lydia Mutinana. I'm out of here.
You could give me facts and figures, yeah. But what I want is something more. 'Cause numbers slip through my fingers. It's in the game and not the score. 'Cause I've got this feeling, and it feels good, like the rhythm in your soul, good. I've got the love to make you whole, good. Don't be afraid to lose control. Now if people try to intercept you, yeah, thinking they can change your ways, they may offer you a new direction. You might say it's not quite what I'm looking for. 'Cause you've got this feeling, I know you got this feeling. You've got this feeling, baby. Yeah, 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 yeah. And it feels good, like the rhythm in your soul, good. I've got the love to make you whole, good. Don't be afraid to lose control. It feels good, send your loving back to me, good. 'Cause it's what we got to be, good. Come on, I can set you free. 'Cause I'm ready to let go of all the things that don't belong. Open up these wings, feel the wind blowing strong. I know we can go further than we have ever gone. I feel it deep inside me, I'm so glad you came along. And now we're floating down the river, going with the flow. No fear of going downstream, it's where we got to go. I'll be there right beside you, keeping you afloat as the birds sing out this song. I've got this feeling, I've got this feeling, I've got this feeling. It feels good, so good, so good, yeah. It feels good.